Kirk Frost and Mendeecees Harris has been building for years. What started as a show full of glamour and drama quickly turned into a series of events that many couldn't have predicted. Both men, for better or worse, have become staples of the love and hip-hop franchise, and fans have been dedicated to following their every move. As Mendeecees fought to stay relevant, another player was making her move. Ashley Monet, the woman from Kirk's past, had stayed quiet for a while, but now she was ready to make her presence known. She went live on Instagram, addressing the rumors about her involvement in the show. "I wasn't even going to speak on this," Ashley began, her voice full of emotion. "But since people keep asking, yeah, it's true. I've been filming with Love and Hip Hop, and let me just say this. Some people are about to get exposed." The comment section exploded with questions, with fans demanding details. "Who is she talking about?" one user posted. "Kirk better start sweating," another commented, sensing that something major was about to be revealed. Ashley's expression grew more serious as she continued. "Let's just say some people have been out here playing innocent when they know they did some dirty things back in the day, and I've got the receipts." The video ended, but the damage was done. Kirk's name was already being dragged through the mud, and now the fans were wondering what Ashley had in store. Did she have proof of something Kirk had done that could ruin him? If so, this was more than just a replacement storyline. It was a reckoning. Kirk, who had been quietly monitoring the situation, knew that Ashley's reveal was just the beginning. The producers were working with her, and they were using her to expose him. His time on the show was becoming more uncertain by the day, and it was clear that the producers were no longer interested in protecting him. He had spent years building his persona on Love and Hip Hop, but now it seemed like everything was crumbling down around him. As the drama continued to unfold, the Love and Hip Hop fan base found itself deeply divided. On one hand, there were fans who had followed Kirk and Mendeecees for years, loyal to the men who had brought so much drama to the show. These fans were determined to see their favorite stars stay on the show. "They've been here since the beginning," one fan posted. "Love and Hip Hop wouldn't be the same without them." On the other hand, there were fans who felt that it was time for a change. "Kirk and Mendeecees have had their time," another fan wrote. "The show needs new energy. It's time for fresh faces." The hashtags Keep Kirk and Mendeecees and Renew cast members were trending simultaneously, reflecting the growing divide between those who wanted the old guard to stay and those who believed it was time for the show to evolve. As the debate raged on, one thing was certain: Love and Hip Hop's future was on the line, and the producers knew it. They needed to make a choice, and the tension between the old and the new faces was only growing stronger. As the public debate continued to escalate, one thing remained eerily consistent. VH1 remained silent. Fans and media outlets alike were calling for answers, yet the producers and executives at the network refused to make any official statements. This silence only fueled the flames of speculation, with fans and insiders alike growing increasingly impatient. Why were they keeping quiet? Was this a publicity stunt, or was it something deeper, something more calculated? The longer VH1 stayed silent, the more the fans began to take matters into their own hands. Online forums and social media pages were abuzz with theories and speculation. Some fans believed that the show was being revamped entirely, with a whole new lineup of fresh faces poised to take over. Others thought it was just a dramatic storyline that would eventually fade away. But the truth remained elusive. For Kirk and Mendeecees, the uncertainty was starting to eat away at them. Each day felt longer than the last, and the tension between the two was growing. They had spent years building their brands through the show, but now it felt as though all their hard work was being discarded in favor of something new. They knew that reality TV was a business, and if the producers thought they had outlived their usefulness, there was very little they could do to change their minds. Yet both men were refusing to accept this fate without putting up a fight. Kirk, ever the strategist, began making calls to his industry connections. He reached out to people he knew had influence in the production world, trying to gather any information he could. He was desperate for clarity, anything that would give him a hint about his future on the show. But every time he made a call, he was met with vague responses. No one was giving him the answers he desperately sought. It was as if the producers had already made up their minds, and Kirk was no longer a part of the equation. Meanwhile, Mendeecees was taking a different approach. Instead of making calls, he focused on making himself as visible as possible. He knew that if the producers saw him actively involved in the drama, they might reconsider replacing him. His social media posts became more frequent, with each one designed to stir the pot and keep his name in the headlines. He knew how to play the game, and he wasn't about to let the producers erase him from the show without putting up a fight. But no matter how much Kirk and Mendeecees pushed back, the fact remained that new faces were already infiltrating the show. Fans began to notice the change in dynamics. More and more, Jasmine Blue and Ashley Monet were becoming the focal points of discussions on social media. They were gaining traction, and their presence on the show was becoming more apparent. The producers were making it clear. They were ready for a new era. As the drama unfolded behind the scenes, the power of social media continued to play a pivotal role in shaping the narrative. Fans were more connected than ever before, and their voices were being heard louder than ever. The pressure on the producers was mounting. How long could they keep up the silence before fans demanded answers? The rumors about the new cast members kept spreading, and the speculation reached a fever pitch. Jasmine Blue was no longer just an unknown name. She had become a household name, all thanks to the buzz surrounding her potential role on Love and Hip Hop. Fans were eager to know more about her, and she was more than happy to keep the mystery alive. Her Instagram posts became even more cryptic, teasing the idea that she might just be the one to take over Kirk and Mendeecees' spots. Her online presence had become a spectacle in itself, with fans flocking to her pages just to catch a glimpse of what was to come. Ashley Monet, on the other hand, was staying a bit more reserved, but she was no less impactful. Her history with Kirk was becoming the focus of many rumors, and fans were dying to know what secrets she had been keeping. Was she about to drop a bombshell that could destroy Kirk's reputation for good? The mere thought of it sent shockwaves through the fan base. The narrative was shifting, and the focus was moving away from the old guard to the new blood. Kirk, feeling the heat more than ever, couldn't stay quiet any longer. He posted a cryptic message on his Instagram account, alluding to the fact that he wasn't going anywhere. "Been here from the start, and I'm not going anywhere. Trust that," he wrote. The post quickly gained traction, with fans flooding the comments to express their support for him. "We need you, Kirk. The show wouldn't be the same without you." One fan wrote, "Don't let them replace you, man." Another commented, but not everyone was on Kirk's side. Some fans, eager for change, felt it was time for the new generation to step up. "Kirk's been around forever. Time for a fresh face." One tweet read, "Jasmine and Ashley are the future of the show. Let's see what they can bring to the table." Mendeecees, meanwhile, continued to use his social media platform to keep his name in the conversation. He posted a message that read, "Real ones know the truth. Don't believe everything you hear." His followers immediately began speculating. Was he denying the rumors about his departure? Or was he hinting that something was happening behind the scenes that fans didn't know about? The online debate was intense, with hashtags like Team Kirk and Team Jasmine trending simultaneously. The producers, no doubt watching closely, were likely taking notes on which side the fans were gravitating toward. But with so much drama unfolding in real time, it was clear that this was far from over. Just when it seemed like things couldn't get any more intense, Ashley Monet dropped the bombshell that would change everything. She went live on Instagram, again, this time with a more direct message. "I wasn't going to speak on this," she began, her voice steady and calm. "But now, it's time for the truth to come out." The comment section exploded as fans eagerly awaited what she would say next. "Some of you already know what's going on," Ashley continued. And for those who don't, let me just tell you, there's more to the story than you think. Some people have been playing games, acting like they're innocent, but I've got the receipts. All the secrets are about to come out, and no one is safe. Kirk's name was mentioned repeatedly in the comments, with fans asking if Ashley was talking about him, and while she didn't confirm it outright, her cryptic statements only fueled the fire. Was she about to expose him? Would her revelation be the final nail in Kirk's coffin? Fans were on the edge of their seats, waiting for the next chapter in this explosive drama. For Kirk, this was the moment he had feared. If Ashley had the proof she claimed to have, it could mean the end of his career on Love and hip-hop. But instead of backing down, Kirk doubled down. He wasn't going to let Ashley or anyone else control the narrative. The battle for his spot was just beginning. As the situation reached a boiling point, the fate of Kirk and Mendeecees hung in the balance. The producers had the power to shape the future of Love and hip-hop, but they also knew that the fans were a driving force in keeping the show alive. Would they choose to continue with the tried-and-true drama of the past, or would they embrace the new blood that had begun to take over? Kirk and Mendeecees had made their mark on the show, but now it seemed like their time was up. The drama was more intense than ever, and the world was watching. Would they fight back and reclaim their place, or was the franchise truly ready for something new? The tension behind the scenes was palpable, and fans were eagerly awaiting the next twist in this unfolding saga. One thing was for certain: Love and hip-hop was about to undergo a major shift, and no one knew how it would end. Part 14. The calm before the storm. As the dust settled from Ashley Monet's explosive live reveal, a tense calm took over the Love and hip-hop universe. Kirk and Mendeecees were in full battle mode, doing everything in their power to hold on to their spots, but it was becoming clear that the producers had their eyes set on something, or rather, someone else. Behind the scenes, decisions were being made, and the tension in the air was almost unbearable. The silence from VH1 remained deafening. While the social media buzz around the replacements continued to grow louder, the network held its cards close to its chest. This silence was, perhaps, the most strategic move the producers could make. By withholding any information, they allowed the drama to keep brewing. Fans were hooked, trying to decode every cryptic Instagram post, every rumor about who would be replaced and by whom. The question now wasn't just about who would stay and who would go, but how long the current cast could keep up the fight before they were out of options. With the cameras rolling and the producers continuing to film with potential replacements, it seemed like the writing was already on the wall. But Kirk and Mendeecees weren't ready to accept that fate just yet. Kirk, feeling the weight of it all, had one last card to play: the final confrontation. It was time to put everything on the line and challenge the producers directly. Kirk Frost was not a man who liked to back down, especially when everything he had built was at risk. After seeing the leaks and the mounting social media speculation, he knew the producers were preparing to move forward with Jasmine and Ashley as the new stars of Love and hip-hop. But what was more concerning was the possibility of his entire image being dismantled, especially by someone like Ashley, who had intimate knowledge of his past. He knew he had to confront this head-on, before it spiraled further out of control. So, Kirk made the bold decision to call an emergency meeting with the producers. He was no longer waiting for them to reach out to him. This time, he would take the reins and demand the answers he needed. Kirk walked into the meeting, his usual swagger replaced by a sense of urgency. The producers looked up as he entered the room, clearly surprised by his bold move. "I need to know what's going on. Is this it? Am I being replaced or what?" Kirk asked, his voice steady but firm. The room went silent for a moment before one of the producers spoke up. "Kirk, you've been with us for a long time. We appreciate everything you've brought to the show, but as we move forward, we're trying to bring in new energy. The audience has been asking for fresh faces, and we have to consider that." Kirk's heart sank. "I get it. I'm not dumb. But you're telling me everything I've built, everything I've done over the years, doesn't matter anymore? You're just going to replace me without a second thought? The producer paused, choosing his words carefully. It's not about replacing you, Kirk. It's about evolving. The show needs to keep moving forward, and sometimes that means shaking things up. Kirk clenched his jaw, holding back the anger that was threatening to surface. I've been here since the beginning. I didn't just show up for a season or two. This is my life. My legacy. You think some new faces are going to bring the same fire? Think again. The room was thick with tension, but the producer's expression remained impassive. We're just trying to see what works. You'll have to understand that it's a business decision. Kirk didn't back down. Well, it's a damn bad decision if you ask me. He stood up, ready to leave. But don't worry, I'm not going anywhere. Let's see who comes out on top. While Kirk was in the middle of his confrontation, Mendeecees was playing his own game. His social media posts, filled with cryptic messages, continued to fuel the fire. He knew the producers were watching, but he wasn't going to let them dictate his future. Mendeecees, always the strategist, had a plan of his own. Yandy, despite her earlier detachment, had begun to warm up to the idea of taking a more proactive role in Mendeecees' fight. She could see how hard he was pushing to keep his spot, and, for the first time in a while, she realized that this wasn't just about his place on the show. It was about his personal journey. She knew how much this meant to him, and though she had been hesitant, she was now ready to step up and back him in this fight. Late one night, Mendeecees and Yandy had a heart-to-heart conversation. You're really gonna fight for this, aren't you? Yandy asked, her voice soft but firm. Of course, Mendeecees replied. I'm not just going to let them push me out like this. This is my story, my legacy. If I go down, I'm going down fighting. But I need you to have my back. Yandy nodded, a sense of determination creeping into her voice. I'm with you. Let's make sure they know we're not going anywhere. If they want new faces, fine. But they're going to have to realize that no one can replace us. Mendeecees smiled, grateful for her support. He knew it wasn't just about the show anymore. It was about proving to himself and the world that he had more to offer than just a reality TV persona. With Yandy by his side, Mendeecees was ready to take this fight to the next level. His next move would be crucial. He needed to make sure that if the producers were considering new faces, they wouldn't forget about him. As the battle between the old guard and the new faces continued to intensify, an unexpected twist emerged. Jasmine Blue and Ashley Monet, two of the most talked-about new faces in the love and hip-hop universe, were not just two independent players. They were working together. Sources revealed that Jasmine and Ashley had formed a secret alliance, understanding that together, they had the power to take over the narrative of the show. With Kirk and Mendeecees on the defensive, the duo saw this as their moment to shine. Jasmine, who had been playing coy about her involvement, was now fully committed to making her mark on the show, and Ashley was determined to ensure that her past with Kirk would become a central part of the storyline. The producers had been working with them for weeks, testing out their chemistry in front of the cameras. Their alliance was solidifying, and the tension between them and the original cast members was growing. But there was one problem. While Jasmine and Ashley were gaining ground, they hadn't yet proven they could handle the pressure of being the center of the drama. The producers were still testing their limits, unsure if they could maintain the kind of conflict that had made Love and Hip Hop so successful. The power of the fans was becoming more evident by the day. As the battle for who would stay and who would go played out in front of the cameras, fans were making their voices heard more loudly than ever. Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook were flooded with comments, hashtags, and passionate pleas from fans who were invested in the show's future. One fan wrote, "Love and Hip Hop isn't just about the drama, it's about the personalities who make it real. We want Kirk and Mendeecees to stay." Another fan disagreed, posting, "It's time for new faces. Jasmine and Ashley bring something different. We need the fresh blood. The response from the fans was clear. No one was indifferent. The love for Kirk and Mendeecees was undeniable, but the demand for change was equally powerful. It was becoming apparent that the producers had a difficult decision ahead. No matter which way they went, they risked alienating a large portion of their fan base.